Hi, it's Stacy from Families with Grace, and today we are talking about 5 ways to have one-on-one time with your kids. A study back in March of 2015 showed that parents are spending more time with their children now than ever before. In fact, the amount of time we're spending with our kids keeps increasing. But if you talk to most parents, they don't feel like they are actually spending enough time with their kids. I guess that's because the research is looking at quantity of time more than quality of time. And it's a struggle that my family faces. Both of our kids are in school now. With a third grader and a kindergartner, we are careful of monitoring their after school activities so we don't get too busy. Each of them are allowed to pick one extracurricular activity that goes for the entire school year. We recently agreed to let them both participate in a school play, knowing that it would increase their activities for a couple of months, especially for our daughter, who is a third grader, has a larger part than her kindergarten brother. But that is an exception to the rule. So once you add in things like homework, making dinner, making lunches, and cleaning up from everything, our evenings are pretty full, even when our kids don't have any activities. We are together and have family dinner almost every night. We chat around the dinner table, which is something my husband and I set as a priority when we first became parents. But when it comes to actually having one-on-one time with our children, we have found that we definitely have to be more intentional about it. One-on-one time is so important for our kiddos. I can literally see the difference in my children's attitude and mannerisms once they learn that they get to have some one-on-one time. They perk up. It doesn't take a long time or something complicated to make a difference. It just takes a bit of planning and undivided attention, meaning things like no cell phone. Number one is to share a meal. I can almost bond over food with anyone because I love food. But this is true also with my kiddos. I love getting a chance to eat with just one kid at a time. We've done this both as one-on-one time with each other individually and also as one-on-two time with both of my husband and me, but only one kiddo. Right now, in being busier, we're actually able to accomplish this one a little bit more. One night this week, for example, my daughter had play practice until 6, and then she had to be to gymnastics at 7. My son had to be at his Ninja Zone class at 6:30. So my husband and I divided and conquered. He took my daughter and had dinner at Subway in between activities. I had my son, who chose frozen pizza at home before his class, and it was a great opportunity to connect with our kids individually. Another way I found this works well is going in to have lunch with them at school. My kids' school is open for parents to come in and have lunch whenever they'd like, as long as we sign in, of course, when we get there. My son's lunch ends right as my daughter's is beginning, so it works really well. And then there are special tables just outside the cafeteria that we can sit at, which really does give us a chance to connect one-on-one. I also really enjoy seeing them in their element at school and interacting with their friends. I keep it simple usually and just have them eat their lunch that I packed for them, especially because my son's lunch starts at 10:25, so I don't really have anywhere I could go and buy lunch food at that point to take to them, so that doesn't even work. Then for the one-on-two dates, we have even left one kiddo with a babysitter and gone out with just the other one. A babysitter for us means grandparents because we're fortunate to have both my parents and my in-laws living within 10 minutes of us. But even with grandparent time, which both of our kids love, our kids still make us promise that they will each get a turn to go out with us one-on-two. They really enjoy having our undivided attention. And we enjoy getting to interact with them and learn even more about them than we would when they're together. The second suggestion is to take advantage of time in the car. That scenario above that I just mentioned, where my kids have classes within half an hour of each other, happens every single week. My son's Ninja Zone class is from 6:30 to 7:30, and my daughter's gymnastics class is from 7 to 8 p.m. on the same night. Both classes are in different buildings that are about 10 minutes away from each other, so my husband and I split up to take them. We alternate who goes with whom, so we have a chance to see each of them do their thing. And I have had some great conversations with both of them on the way to and from classes. Sometimes they share more about what's going on with them at school. Sometimes they tell me something they've been worried about. And sometimes, especially with my son, they tell me about plans they're making. I call my 6-year-old my little man with a plan because he has a plan and an explanation for everything, even if he's taking quite a bit of creative license with it. All right, number 3 is to go on dates. We get to have dates every so often around here with our kiddos, and I love it. For the past 2 years, a local community organization has hosted a daddy-daughter dance in the fall. So my husband will take my daughter, and they always have a great time together. My son and I plan our own date during that time because we're not going to be left out. In fact, I wrote about our most recent one back in October, and you can find that over on the blog as well. We don't have to do something extravagant. My son really just wanted to go to the playground and out for ice cream on his date, so we did. But we have fun and we get to connect in a different way. We get to chat about what's going on with them, and we try to make sure we're doing something they're interested in and want to do, which is also incredibly important. Number 4, take turns playing. This is probably my kids' favorite thing. Our kids love when my husband and I play with them. Now that they're both in school and have more going on, we don't get to play nearly as often as we once did back when they were itty bitties who were home all day, every day. But something we started back then has continued until now, and it's one of their favorite things: one-on-one playtime. We literally set a timer and spend time with each kid playing whatever they want to play and then switch. And when I say we spend time with each kid, I mean that I spend time with one kid, my husband spends time with the other, and then we flip it. My kids love this so much. And in fact, they love it so much that it was their only requested activity over winter break when I asked them what they wanted to do during their time off from school. Even just a half hour each is enough, and they love it. And my husband and I do too. All right, now my final suggestion is to go shopping together. I know sometimes shopping can be really stressful, but it can also be a really good way to connect with your kids. You don't have to love shopping for this one to work, because I do not love shopping at all. But I've enjoyed numerous shopping trips with one kiddo at a time, picking up presents for the other, or even just shopping for clothes. There's something special about being out with just one kiddo at a time for both them and me. A couple of weeks ago, my son and I went to Target to have him try on jeans, because he keeps getting holes in the knees of all of his other ones, and it just happens. So we had to go try on jeans. And it was sort of laborious, and it should not have been fun. Yet we had a good time together anyway, because we were together and we were doing something together, just the two of us. And so it was fun. So whether you use these suggestions or have your own, definitely find some time to make it a priority to have some one-on-one time with your kiddos. You will never regret it. Thanks.